Hello friends, this is Laufie, and today I will be reviewing this massive patch that just hit the North American version. We don't quite have the patch yet, but the patch notes are here as of 14 minutes ago for me. So I'm recording this video basically as soon as they hit for you guys, and I cannot wait to go over these. We are getting a lot of stuff. Like, this page is really long. I'm not going to be focusing on every single minute detail in this patch. I will be overviewing them and providing some context and some details for them. But if I focus on everything and read out every single line for you, the video is probably going to be 40 minutes long or even longer. I'm really excited to get into it. So let's do that. Starting off with the Queen of the Hour. The long-anticipated third support class, the Artist. Now, I'm not going to get into the details of the class. You can look up a community guide, which I will link below. I will also link the Lost Ark Academy post as well, which is a more brief overview of what the class is and what to expect from it. To give you a very quick overview of what the class actually is, it's a support class. It can heal, it can buff your damage, it builds yearning. What else do you need? The class builds full swiftness. It takes basically the same engravings as Swiftness Bard, except the class engraving obviously is going to be different. That's really all you need to know. Next up is the Tulubic Battlefield for those that actually have a Rowan PvP build. This is a realm versus realm, massive 48 versus 48, 96 total player battleground. It is a scheduled event that will happen every once in a while on the server. In this post, you can actually take a look at the schedule as well. But for those that aren't quite as interested in Rowan, this is probably something that you're going to ignore. The next item on the list is the Arcasia Grand Prix. It's just a really fun event. It accompanies a vendor that will have a variety of impactful rewards, such as a Naruni mount selection chest, honing materials, and more. Next up is Ark Pass Season 3. This is our next Ark Pass, which is basically the Battle Pass for Lost Ark. You get it for free just by playing the game, as it says here. There's 30 levels of the Ark Pass. You're supposed to take your time with this, and as you should. This lasts a really long time and stays in the game forever, so typically you will have this completed at some point or another. You don't have to rush. However, there are optional unlocks for those that want to get a little bit extra rewards. There is the Premium, as it says here, and the Super Premium. The Premium Pass is available in exchange for 1,500 Royal Crystals. And the Super Premium is for 3,000. Now, Premium, if you're gonna spend money on the Ark Pass, Premium is good. Super Premium, kind of useless, because Super Premium just gives you the skins. There's really no difference between Premium and Super Premium, aside from the fact that you just pay a little bit more to get the skins. This is the preview of the actual skin. These are dyeable. Fully. You can dye every part of this. They, I believe, come in two versions, the golden and the silver, but you can dye all of the parts of it, so that's pretty much irrelevant. So this is the page on the Korean website that actually previews the skins in a little bit more detail. You can skip over this part if you don't care, but I'm just going to preview them in a little bit more detail the way they were previewed on the Korean website, which looks kind of nice. The KR website has some nice previews for us, and then when you scroll all the way to the bottom, they showcase the weapons. They are very simple in design, but let's just go over them very quickly. This one is the Destroyer, the top left. The first one is the Destroyer. This is the Gun Lancer. This is the Berserker. And this is the Paladin. And now, like I said, there's a silver version and there's a gold version. I'm not sure what the difference is because, like I said, they're dyeable, but there is the gold and red version as well. Next up, this is the Male Martial Artist. It looks identical to the War Dancer one, as you can see here. So the top left is a War Dancer. The top right is Scrapper. Not the other way around. Bottom left, that's the Soulfist weapon. Bottom right, Glavier weapon. Next one is Deadeye. This is Artillerist, top right. Sharpshooter bow, one of the coolest ones, if not the coolest one, I think, out of all of them, personally. And this is the Scouter one on the bottom. And then the other variations. This is the Gunslinger. It's separate, but they are completely identical to each other because they are male and female counterparts of the same class, so they look identical. Now, the top left staff is Summoner. The bottom right staff is the Sorceress. Top right weapon is the Bracelet for Arcana, the weapon. And the bottom left is the Harp for the Bard. Personally, I think I'm going to be getting that Bard one. It looks kind of nice. The next one here is the Blade. So this is your big Surge Blade that you carry in the back, and then this is what your two blades are going to look like that you hold actually in your hands when you're doing damage. This one here is the Shadow Hunter weapon, and the bottom one is the Reaper weapon. Again, I feel like I have to say this over and over whenever I review skins in my videos, but I'm sorry, Reapers, you got robbed. One day, surely you'll get a good weapon skin. I don't know why it's hard. If you like it, that's great. That's fantastic. But if you don't, I I'm sorry. And lastly, we're not getting this one quite yet, because that is Aeromancer. We don't have that one yet, but we are getting the artist one, which looks awesome. It's a pen. It's a quill with a feather. I don't know what it's supposed to be. It's a calligraphy pen, but there's a quill at the top. Whatever it is, it looks sick. If you're gonna play artist, this looks awesome, I think. I'm gonna play artist, and I think it looks awesome, so I'm gonna be getting that one too. Thank you very much. And going back into the patch notes, we are getting a Punica Power Pass, which is wonderful. With this version of the Punica Power Pass, you'll receive item level 1340 gear. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. Hyper Express Plus and engraving support. Juicy. The rundown is that you are getting materials to get to 1445, and you are getting a free 4x3 engraving setup. Now, the kicker is that it is temporary, but it lasts until the Hyper Express lasts. So you have some time. The way I would advise people who are going to be taking use of this to use it properly is to get the 4x3 for now. It is temporary. Work on other things. Hone your character, build your relic set, get your tripods if you end up liking the character, of course. Build up your gems, build up your farm up materials, farm up all the stuff that you need on the character, like silver and shards and all of that good stuff. And then when we're like about a month away from those engravings disappearing, that's when you start working on your engravings. Now we are also getting a Story Express. So this is different from the Hyper Express. The Story Express is clearing story missions to level up a character from item level 1 to 1340. You can hand level a character and you will get rewards for that. The rewards include Cursed Line Aura, Epic Class Engraving Recipe Selection Pouch, Epic Combat Engraving, and additional materials that just give you a little bit of materials to get through stuff and actually get to tier 3. So it's really good, I think, for new players. For established players, obviously you can do it. At the end of the day, it's free stuff. That will depend on how much free time you have and how much of the free time you want to dedicate to hand leveling a character basically from level 1. That is completely up to you. I don't really have any input on that. The values fully depend on how much you value your time and how much of it you have. I do want to note something at the end here. It says if you delete your Story Express character, you will not be able to designate another one. So be careful before you apply it to a character. You cannot switch it. Now, we're also getting new player and returning player login bonuses. This upgraded login reward track will support brand new and returning players with 15 days of rewards to help kickstart their journey through Arcasia. It includes new and improved bonuses, including engraving recipe selection chests, uncommon to legendary, very good, a variety of honing materials selection chests, which is good, Fions, and a legendary to epic card pack. That's fantastic. That's awesome. It seems that a returning player is classified as somebody who has not logged in for 30 plus days. So unfortunately, for those of you addicts that have soft quit Lost Ark but still log in once in a while, like once a week or every 2 weeks, can't get this. But if you haven't logged in over 30 days and you're thinking of coming back, oh, this follows my previous videos so perfectly. If you're a new player and you're coming back to the game and you haven't played for more than 30 days, this is for you. You don't have to do anything to do it. You literally just log in and you're granted the beautiful bonus. General and quality of life updates. Honing and gold update. Gold requirements for honing up to item level 1445 have been removed and will now just require honing materials and silver. What does that mean? That means when you're tapping a character who's below 1445, you don't have a raw gold cost for that anymore. Every single tap isn't going to take away and eat at your tiny gold stash when you're a new player honing a character up to 1445. On top of that, they've also increased the honing success rate and honing material discounts and leapstone material discounts. If you're watching this video and you have been around from the very beginning, you remember how much of a fucking struggle it was to hone to 1415 from 1370. It was hell. I don't think I've gotten traumatized with getting 2 +20 Brawl weapons. Nowhere near as much as just simply honing my first character from 1370 to 1415. It was awful, it was terrible, I never wish to go back to those times. And look, you don't have to. It's very nice. Listen, anything new player oriented, anything newer player oriented or returning player oriented, I eat that shit up. The game needs it. So this is good. However, not everything is butterflies and rainbows in Lost Ark, so there is a little bit of a but in this. With less demand for gold to hone gear, gold rewards have been adjusted for lower level tier 3 content. This is the flat gold payout that you get for finishing it. So gold has been reduced, and it affects basically Oreha, Argos, and raids up until Vaulton Hard. So this doesn't affect Vicus Hard. It affects Vicus Normal, but it affects Vicus Hard, which basically is where the cutoff is for 1445. So it makes sense. The silver lining of this is that the chest cost was reduced as well to scale with that. Makes perfect sense, but like sometimes you would expect people to not do things that make sense. In this case, they actually did something that makes sense, which is good. They've reduced the cost of how much it actually costs to buy the chest itself, the one when you clear the gate and you just buy the extra loot and stuff. Now that stuff costs way less gold as well, so that's good. That's a little bit of a silver lining. I know it's upsetting to see less gold, but now you don't need as much gold to hone anymore, I guess. So that's... whether you like this or not, at the end of the day, this is the hand we've been dealt. Korea has this, and now we have it. As soon as Korea got this, I mean, I didn't like this change really personally, but it's supposed to combat inflation. And we have inflation. So, it is what it is. More new player-oriented stuff, which is great. They've added 2 new card sets for new players that use cards already available in the game, and added a new Star of Destiny card set with the following cards for new players. I don't know what the set bonuses are. I think this is the Mokoko card set from Korea. I don't remember what the sets are, but listen, if they're anywhere near even slightly good enough as a stepping stone until you get LOS 18, which takes a while, this is good. Card system improvements, and this is a pretty lengthy part here that I'm not going to go over in great details, but the TLDR is that they've vastly improved a lot of the card UI, the Alt-C UI. The cards will basically automatically apply once you open them from a card pack. It's just really small but good overall quality of life changes for cards. A little bit of Chaos Gate love as well. Players who don't help battle will now be kicked after a while, so for those people that just go into a Chaos Gate and then AFK to go make a PBJ, you can't do that anymore, you gotta starve. Sorry, you gotta hit the boss. If you ever leave or get kicked from a Chaos Gate due to lack of participation, which is now punished, you will no longer be able to cheese it and re-enter through, so make sure that you're actually participating to just make it easier on everybody. No one enjoys Chaos Gates. Arcturus Touch. So, if this guy touches you, basically you can now build up the stuff that you need for your relic set 5 times faster, essentially. So basically, when you make a new character, you don't have to waste a bunch of time anymore getting gate-kept because you have legendary gear. Now it's much easier to just get your set. It's nice. Gear trading changes. Chosen, Preordained Diligence, and Harsh Oath, the 3 legendary gear sets that you get from Oreha and Argos, can now be traded up to 3 times, just like accessories, and can be sold/purchased on the marketplace. Small change, pretty good though. A little bit of sailing content, Procyon's Compass. Compass? Compass. Improved how available rewards are counted. If you leave the area before starting a co-op or competitive quest, your ability to earn rewards will not be counted. They're basically punishing people for leaving an AFK and stuff like that. And they also adjusted the frame rate for the co-op quest to reduce frame drop, which is fucking awesome. Items added to material storage are now available for exchange. So now the scales in the Argos Blood and the Empyrean Dawn, basically there is an NPC in Vern Castle and Nia Village called the Abyss Trade. You can exchange them for more juice, which is always nice. Behold! Shift G. Has your finger ever hurt from spamming G, skipping through dialogue because you do not care about lore and MMO? Well, now you can use 2 fingers and press Shift G and skip all of it at once. That's what that is. The Stronghold update is a bunch of very small quality of life updates to the Stronghold that I'm not going to get into in too much detail. Now, the skin effect bonus, I believe, from what I'm understanding here, is something that's been previewed in the most recent Loan event. I will put it up on screen here now. So basically what it is we're getting a new move effect added as a slot for a skin. So this is just a different way to customize your character on top of just regular ass skins. I do believe they are class based just from the video alone, but I don't know if we're actually getting them in this patch. I haven't really seen them. I guess we're gonna find out in about 24 hours. But that being said though, that's pretty cool. We're getting more ways to customize our character, which is always awesome, especially in an MMORPG. That's basically half the end game. This here is interesting. General updates. Any amount of gold above the 100,000 will be taxed with 5%. There is a new daily login reward track, obviously. Lost Ark now only runs on DirectX 11, and Competitive Match Season 2 will draw to a close next month on April 12th. For those of you that still do PvP, this is like your last home stretch to push rank because the second season will be done on April 12th. Now on to the UI updates. Integrated Dungeon UI, the Alt Q menu from which you can go into your Guardian raids, your Chaos Dungeons, your raids. They finally added boss rush and cube activities to that. So now when you're about to do your cube tickets and your boss rush tickets, which I know you're diligent about, of course you don't have a huge stack of them saved up. Now you can do that from Alt Q. You don't have to run all the way to the actual NPCs and click on them physically in order to queue up for them or go solo them. Character customization, this part here is something I've been waiting for a really long time. Changed character creation and reskin tickets to allow 24 hours of customization changes before the appearance is finally finalized and locked. What this means is that if you buy an appearance change tickets and you eat it and you change an appearance of a character, you will then have 24 hours to go back and change it as many times as you want within that 24 hours. So it's not just a one-time use thing and then you mess up and you're like, oh fuck, somebody gave me this really cool preset, but I forgot to change her voice, and now her voice sounds awful. Don't worry, now you can go back and you can actually change the voice for free, and you don't have to get another ticket for it. And that applies not only to the reskin tickets, but also to a brand new character. Added more customization file save slots, which is awesome. So far we've only had 5, now we're gonna have more. And improved camera zoom. Don't know what that means, but still cool. More tweaks to the MVP system. Now, a new MVP category has made its appearance, called Supporter. Hate the name, love the idea though. Now it actually counts how much damage you amplified through using your abilities and your damage buffs intelligently to align with the raid, knowing and predicting when you should and shouldn't use your damage abilities and how good you are at upkeeping your marks and stuff like that. So this is really nice. If you are a support who is actually good at using their Rhapsody, you will now actually get reward for that counted towards the MVP screen. That is fantastic. I've wanted this for God knows how long, and it's actually a little bit unbelievable that we are getting it now. Now onto a list of some general changes. Added options to simplify results from confirmation for gems, quality upgrades, and skill tree transfers. So it's basically just kind of quality of life to save time. You don't have to sit there and suffer through the sound of your weapon quality failing over and over and over again. So basically, the failures are still there, you just don't see them anymore, and sometimes ignorance is bliss. Very small tweaks to the character selection screen, so there's an edit background now in wallpaper settings. For all the people that like to take pictures of how nice their roster looks, now it's going to look even nicer because you don't have to kind of position your screenshot and cut out all the extra UI parts, because now you can just show it up as a screenshot, which is nice. Party Finder is getting some love as well. You can now sort by the number of people in a group. Added a private find party post option, so this is for all of you people who actually have friends on the game. Honestly, in a way, dude, this might just to the smallest extent take away from the gatekeeping. Now, I know this sounds like copium, okay? Like this, the perception of gatekeeping is what I meant. A lot of people, when they get declined in favor of a friend or in favor of a guildmate, hey, why'd you decline me? Hey, I have a +20 weapon. Hey, what's wrong about my character? Why'd you decline me? This will ever so slightly, perhaps, if enough people use this, reduce the perception of gatekeeping, because now if you're making a lobby full of just your friends and somebody applies, they don't feel like they got gatekept just because you accepted your friend that you were already waiting for over them, for example. Oh, I mean, that's a little bit of copium. And this is a big one because this happened to me so many times. You know, when you're putting together a party, you see somebody you want to accept, but that person declines right as you're about to hit accept on them. So you hit accept on the person who immediately moves up in the list. This prevents that. They're just gonna show up as somebody who canceled. So now you're not gonna be accidentally accepting people you didn't mean to accept and feeling awkward, telling them, hey, this was an accident, you're not good enough, sorry, lol, bye. Online status UI. If your friend or guildmate whispers to you while you're set as offline/away, you will be able to receive their message, but as the sender, will still get a delivery failed message. So if you're pretending like you're not on the game because your friends have been flaming you that they haven't seen you in 5 years and you're hiding from them by still playing Lost Ark, if you're appearing offline and they whisper you, you'll still see what they said, but on their end, when they send the whisper to you, it'll show as, oops, you just tried to whisper somebody who's offline, sorry. You can now set your online status from the character selection screen also, so you don't have to log in, show everybody on your friends list and in your guild that you just logged in, and then immediately suspiciously log out. You can actually set that from your login character selection screen, so if you never want to appear online to anyone ever again, now That's very much possible. I've been waiting for these bitches. Neria's wardrobe, baseball uniforms, this is what they look like. There's some variations to them. Obviously, this is Neria, so they are dyeable. Neria's wardrobe winter coat for specialists specifically is coming back. Artist wasn't out back then when we got all these cute skins for all of our other characters, so they are cycling them back just for artists, so you can buy more skins for your artist. The same thing with the specialist New Year wish skins as well. And these are the artist-specific outfits that artist comes out with. This is what the mounts look like. I love the black and purple one so much. That's probably the one that I'm getting. That looks wonderful. And this is the wallpaper. This is the one thing that you can't get separately. So you can buy the mount separately if you want. You can buy the skins and the weapon skins separately if you want. You don't have to buy the extra premium, super premium Ark Pass for 3,000 Royal Crystals. But if you like this wallpaper and you would like to have this wallpaper, you have to get it. The only way to get it is through the Ark Pass. So you would have to pay the 3,000 extra. And lastly, we are getting this little cute little turtle pet. I'm probably gonna get the blue one because he looks like Kunglanium and I miss him every day that I do Carl. I'm just kidding. I don't do Carl every day. Congratulations, we're halfway through the fucking page. However, now things are gonna be speeding up a little bit because this is the long-awaited Korean PTR class balance update patch that we've been hearing so much about, mostly from sharpshooter players. I will give you a general overview, maybe a one-liner for a couple of these because I don't play every class in the game. Berserker is eating good this patch. This is a lot of good buffs. You're getting visual reworks. You're getting rid of a skill that was clunky as fuck. You're getting a new skill that's not clunky at all, and it's awesome and it looks great. To my knowledge, both Mayhem and BT are eating really good, but like BT is eating even more. Gunlancer, now Gunlancer is one of those classes that I personally understand probably the least in the game in terms of builds and stats and all that stuff, but from my understanding, this isn't really a buff, this isn't really a nerf, it's just that now, basically, red Gunlancer is favored and blue Gunlancer is not quite as useful anymore. Destroyer does get a little mention, but it's really nothing much. They just got nerfed in PvP because they were frankly a menace. Paladin, much like Bard, also getting a lot of damage-oriented changes. You do more damage in solo content. Glavier does get a little tidbit here as well. From what I hear from Glavier players is that it's the tiniest little buff in the universe. Deadeye. Beautiful, my gorgeous, beautiful, beloved Deadeye. Pistolier is getting buffed. You're not an S tier class, don't worry about it. You're not an A tier class either, but last request. From what I understand about the artillerist changes is that their goal on the PTR over in Korea was to give a little bit more love to the firepower side of things. If you are somebody who likes to play artillerist but would prefer to play firepower, or you just simply don't like the playstyle of barrage, firepower is getting a little bit of buffs, so that's good. Sharpshooter, listen, I'm not even gonna look at the screen. I don't fucking understand what's going on. People are screaming at me from all directions. I don't know what's going on, okay? So the overview that I was given by a sharpshooter player and also listening to Tofu is this. Overall damage buff for both class engravings. I'm literally reading off of a note that I wrote down. Loyal Companion, overall very good buffs, but now your primary stat is Spec. Death Strike, more damage, but it feels clunkier to play. However, the cool thing that got changed is about the snipe. Now you get to see one big juicy number. Machinist got a little buff, pretty overdue. They needed it, but it's not that big. Gunslinger got a buff as well. It's a pretty nice little buff. Now you don't do more damage when the boss is below 50% HP, you just do more damage overall, which is good. Summoner got nerfed. Good, fuck him. Arcana also nerfed by 6% in PvP, virtually untouched in PvE. Bard is getting a bunch of visual overworks, and we're getting a new skill that marks the boss that's replacing Conviction Core that nobody in the history of Lost Ark that's been out for 4 fucking goddamn years has ever used that skill once in their entire lifetime. They doubled the range of your ultimate, the shield, Symphonia. Now if you're playing with a pesky little sharpshooter that likes to stay on the other end of the map, charging up his snipe that now does one little number, you'll actually be able to clip him with the shield as well. In terms of Sorceress, she got nerfed in PvP slightly. In PvE, they gave some love to Reflux because it was limping behind, as we all know. That's just about it. Deathblade, I cannot begin to understand the remaining energy. From what people have told me is that RE is eating much better. They're not eating as good as Surge, but they are eating much better. Shadowhunter got nice buffs as well. These are aimed more so towards Perfect Suppression because these are the normal skills that you use outside of your form. Reaper had a much bigger buff before this that got reverted, and now you have a little buff. Deleted skills compensation, what this means is that Berserker lost, let's see, 2 skills, Bard lost a skill and Sharpshooter lost a skill, so the skills that they deleted were skills that were notoriously underused or shit. If you had a certain level of tripods applied to those skills, they will now give you a replacement amulet for that tripod. And that's pretty much it. Obviously, I didn't go over all of the nitpicky details, so if you do want to do that yourself, you're more than welcome to. My thoughts about the patch, awesome. I'm really excited for the skins. I'm really glad they're circling back the artist skins that artists didn't end up getting. I am really excited about the balance changes that a lot of people have anticipated. I'm really happy about the shift G change. I know the shift G change is also a heavily anticipated thing. I was kind of coping on stream today that we're gonna get the Ebony Cube, but that's a little too cope, I think, yeah. But that's not to say that I'm unhappy with any part of this. Honestly, all good changes. I mean, some people are probably going to be upset a little bit that some of the raids and the Abyssal Dungeons and Argos got reduced gold. But on the flip side, we did get a complete removal of gold costs for raw tapping your gear. So that's lovely. I think that's great. It balances things out. It doesn't cause too much inflation, which is something that we do have to keep in mind, of course. Like, the reason why this came out in KR in the first place is because KR has been dealing with an inflation issue for a long time now, and it's one of those things that's really difficult to fix without kind of hitting a heavy blow to an honest player base. So I'm happy about all of these changes. I'm really excited about this, and at the end of it all, at the very bottom of the patch, it says, "That's not all. Stay tuned to playlostark.com for new Prime Gaming and Twitch drop rewards. We'll see you in Arcasia, paintbrushes in hand." It's a cute little exit message. I appreciate it. Thank you, Amazon. Thank you, Smilegate. This is a lovely patch. I'm really excited about it. But like it said, there's going to be new Twitch drops. I don't really know what they are yet, but we're going to get them. So make sure to tune in at twitch.tv/LaufieLOL. I will be streaming this entire patch, exploring all of the new things that got added. And I'm going to be getting like every single one of those skins because I've been skin starved for a while. And of course, my channel is going to have drops enabled. I really appreciate you watching this video. I always appreciate the support. Stay tuned, subscribe for the next video coming out. I do have a few Blue Protocol videos planned, and I have a couple of Lost Ark videos planned already in the making. Thank you for sharing this moment with me. Thank you for reviewing the patch with me, and I will see you on stream at twitch.tv/LaufieLOL. Later.